The Hebrew or Jewish calendar is a complex and ancient system of timekeeping that has guided the religious and cultural life of the Jewish people for thousands of years. Unlike the Gregorian calendar, which is purely solar and used by most of the modern world, the Jewish calendar is lunisolar, meaning it incorporates both lunar months and solar years, and the solar year. This blending of celestial cycles creates a system that is both astronomically rich and deeply tied to religious observances, agricultural rhythms, and historical remembrance. The structure of the Jewish calendar is based on the phases of the moon. Each month begins with the new moon and a full moon of the month, approximately 29 and one-half days, determines the length of the month. To maintain harmony with the solar year, which is about 11 days longer than the 12-month lunar year, the calendar periodically adds a 13-month in certain years. This adjustment ensures that the major holidays remain aligned with their appropriate seasons, especially the spring festivals of Passover and Shabbat, and the autumn observance of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Sukkot. A typical year in the Jewish calendar contains 12 months, but in a leap year, an extra month is inserted. This leap year is called Adar Aleph and precedes the regular month of Adar, which becomes Adar Bet during such years. The addition of this month follows a 19-year cycle in which 7 of the years include the leap month. This 19-year cycle, known as the Metonic cycle, was adopted in ancient times to harmonize lunar and solar calendars. It has remained a central feature in Jewish timekeeping. The names of the months in the Jewish calendar were adopted during the Babylonian exile and are still in use today. They are in order: Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, Tammuz, Av, Elul, Teshri, Chesvan, Kislev, Tevet, Shabbat, and Adar. In leap years, the added month Adar Aleph is inserted between Shabbat and Adar Bet. Each of these months has specific associations with agriculture, historical, and religious events. For example, Nisan is the month in which Passover occurs, commemorating the Exodus from Egypt, and Tishrei contains the high holy days of the festival of Sukkot. Days in the Jewish calendar begin at sunset rather than at midnight, as in the Gregorian system. This convention is rooted in the biblical account of creation, which repeatedly states, "And there was evening and there was morning." As a result, all Jewish holidays and observances begins at sundown and continue until the following evening. This rhythm reflects a worldview in which rest, reflection, and spiritual preparation begin as darkness falls, ushering in a sacred time. The Jewish week consists of 7 days, culminating in the Sabbath or Shabbat, which begins at sundown on Friday and ends at nightfall on Saturday. Shabbat is considered a central pillar of Jewish life, a day set apart for rest, worship, and family. It is a time when work is prohibited and spiritual renewal is emphasized. The 7-day week is one of the most ancient and enduring aspects of the Jewish calendar. It has been adopted by many cultures around the world. The Jewish calendar also marks years from a traditional count that begins with the creation of the world, as calculated by ancient rabbinical scholars, using genealogies and events described in the Hebrew Bible. According to this calculation, the current year is more than 5,000 years since creation. This reckoning is not meant to be a scientific chronology, but rather a sacred timeline that frames Jewish history within a divine narrative. Several important holidays are fixed in the Jewish calendar, each with its own religious significance and observances. Passover, beginning on the 15th of Nisan, commemorates the liberation of the Israelites from Egypt or Egyptian slavery. It is celebrated with the Seder meal and the recitation of the Haggadah. Sabbath, occurring 7 weeks after Passover, marks the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai. Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year's, falls on the 1st of Tishri and is the time of reflection and repentance. Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, follows 10 days later and is the most solemn day of the year, devoted to fasting, prayer, and seeking forgiveness. Sukkot, a harvest festival, begins 5 days after Yom Kippur and is observed by dwelling in temporary structures called Sukkot. Other holidays include Hanukkah, which celebrates the rededication of the Temple of Jerusalem and the miracle of the oil, and Purim, which commemorates the deliverance of the Jews from a plot of extermination in the ancient Persian which commemorates the deliverance of the Jews from a plot of extermination in ancient Persia, as recounted in the book of Esther. These holidays fall on specific days or dates in the Jewish calendar and vary from year to year in the Gregorian calendar due to the differences between lunar and solar cycles. In addition to the major holidays, the calendar includes fast days, memorial days, and minor festivals. Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, is a day of mourning for the destruction of the first and second temples in Jerusalem. To beat Shavat, the 15th of Shavat, is known as the Year of Trees and is often marked by planting trees and eating fruits native to the land of Israel. Calculating the calendar and determining the dates of holidays historically required careful observation and mathematical expertise. In ancient times, new months were declared based on eyewitness testimony of the new moon. And the Sanhedrin, the High Court in Jerusalem, would have officially proclaimed the start of the month. Over time, as the diaspora spread and central authority waned, the calendar was fixed using a mathematical algorithm developed by Hillel II in the 4th century. This fixed calendar is still used today and enables Jews around the world to observe holidays at the same time, regardless of the location. The Julian calendar stands as one of the most significant reforms in the history of timekeeping. And its introduction marked a turning point in how the Western world measured and organized time. Before the Julian reform, the Roman calendar was a chaotic and politically manipulated system, prone to irregularities and inconsistencies. Julius Caesar recognized the need for order and standardization, Julius Caesar, recognizing the need for order and standardization, implemented the new calendar in the year 46 before the Common Era, a year that would later become known as the last year of confusion due to the extraordinary adjustments made to bring the calendar back into alignment with the seasons. The pre-Julian Roman calendar was a lunar-based system that included 12 months, but was regularly manipulated by adding or